Hey guys, so this is going to be like a two-part video. The first part is going to be my review of the Sugarpill Little Twin Stars collection, and the second part is going to be doing a tutorial on this look. So if you want to skip ahead to the tutorial, I'll have timestamps below, probably. If not, someone remind me. So I was sent the entire collection from Sugarpill, so thank you Sugarpill for that. It comes with the Little Twin Stars palette, which looks like this. Two liquid lipsticks called Kiki and Lala. And also the cutest little makeup bag ever, and this one can't be purchased separately, and it's included in the entire collection. And you can buy the palette separately or the liquid lipstick separately. I'm just going to be going into the pros and the cons of the palette first. So some pros for this palette is that the shades are, I'm sorry for the glare. How do people do this? Like, do they cover their faces too? Oh wait, I can do it. There we go. Clearly I don't know what I'm doing here. So this palette comes with 6 shades and it's absolutely stunning. This is also a multi-use palette, so I really enjoy using Sky Candy as a blush and either Cloudmaker or Dream Dust as a highlight. I don't know how it would do for darker skin tones, and even though Dream Dust looks pretty boring and beigey in the pan, when you apply it onto the skin it's just stunning. I'm using it as a highlight today, and I'm using Sky Candy as a blush. So my next point can either be taken as a pro or a con, so that's why I'm kind of putting it in the middle. But for me personally, I can't create a cohesive look with just this palette alone. There are no real transition shades or darker shades that you can use. If you're someone that uses just washes of color, I feel like you would like this palette as a standalone palette. But for me personally, I just find that I need something to supplement it with. And since I already have a lot of eyeshadows in my collection, I don't feel like it's such a big deal to just reach for another one when I need it. So, cons. This is a pretty fragile palette. Cloudmaker for me came broken, and for Giasa, I think Wish came broken for her, and for Ashley, she dropped her palette, and I think Cloudmaker and Twinkle Twinkle shattered. You do have to be quite careful with this palette, and because of this, I wouldn't categorize this as a travel-friendly palette. So to repair my Cloudmaker, all I did was I took all the shadow out of the pan and put it in a small container, and then I took a little spatula just to break up the powder. I have alcohol, I think 70% alcohol in the spray bottle, which I use to clean my brushes with in between looks. So I used that and I sprayed 3 sprays into it and mixed it all up with my little spatula. This is what I mean by a spatula, by the way. It's just like a little, I guess it's a palette knife actually. It's not really a spatula to begin with. But yeah, I took my palette knife, mixed it up until clumps formed, and it shouldn't look wet at all. And then I just dumped it back into the pan and pressed it with a paper towel on top and just set that out to dry. And with the lipsticks, Kiki and Lala, if you've tried Sugarpill lipsticks before, they're pretty much on par with all their other liquid lipsticks. Lala is like a bubblegum pink, and I feel like you could pretty much wear it anytime, while Kiki is a little bit more unwearable, but if you mix the two together, you get this really pretty grayish purple that I wore in my last video. I guess a con for these is that they can't be purchased separately, they have to be purchased together, but since I've used these two together, I wouldn't want to purchase them separately anyway. That's it for the review portion, so now we can go on to the makeup tutorial. So I'm going to start with my blush and highlight now, because if I don't do that now, I'm going to end up forgetting later. I already have my contour on, so for blush I'm using Sky Candy from that Sugarpill palette, this Sugarpill palette, and you don't need a lot, it's pretty pigmented. Okay, I think that's a little too much. Yeah, so all I'm doing is I'm literally booping my brush. I literally just pressed my brush into the blush, brush into the blush, brush into, you know what I mean. Okay, I guess we can go with pretty unnatural looking blush today. And for highlight, I'm going into Dream Dust right over here. And even though it looks soapy in the pan, it's not at all on the face. This kind of reminds me of Kat Von D's Thunderstruck eyeshadow, except it's just a little more not as in your face, which you may or may not like, depending. But I think it's a really pretty everyday highlight. And I'm also going to go in with a smaller brush and go right under my eyebrow. Let's bring you a little bit closer for my eyes. I'm not using the lens that I usually use, so I don't know how this is going to look. I feel like this lens makes my nose look a lot bigger, even though it's already pretty big in real life. I'm going into my Tarte lip palette and using Free Spirit as my transition shade, as usual, and going right into my crease, also as usual. And this is just going to help me blend out the colors a little better later on. So with the same brush, I'm going to go into Sky Candy. I'm loading this onto my brush pretty heavily just because it's such a light shade. And just sweeping that right across my eyelids. Not eyelids, but crease. You know what I mean. So once I have that brushed onto my not eyelid, I'm going to go in with a smaller brush and I don't know how good or bad this is going to end up looking, but I'm trying to use as many of these shades as I can just to get the fullest out of this palette, but I've also never done this combination before, so I don't know how it's going to look like. I'm going to be taking Wish right over here and putting that into the inner and outer corners. I don't know if I want to go in with a deeper pink in between, but we'll see. So I'm just putting these two shades in the inner and outer corners and blending it out, leaving a little gap in the middle. I usually don't do both eyes at the same time, or at least not anymore, just because it's easier on the timing, because I already know what I'm doing, so I don't have to kind of fiddle around, but I feel like this also gives you a pretty good idea of how it actually looks like for me to be doing my makeup. Hey, that actually doesn't look that bad, or at least not as bad as I thought it would. So I'm going to go in with actually I might just go in with my finger. Yeah, I'm going with my finger into Twinkle Twinkle over here, and I'm just going to pack this onto the center. I should probably put this brush down. So I just packed most of the product onto the very center, and when there's less product on my finger, I'm blending it out. So I am going to use another shade on here just to deepen the crease, and I'm going to be using, I think, Realger. Yeah, Realger from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and just going in and just defining those inner and outer corners. With this palette, I'm putting just the bare minimum on my brush and adding more as I need. This one's a lot more pigmented than the other palette. And this is what I mean by, or for my makeup style, it being kind of hard for me to just use that Little Twin Stars palette, because I really enjoy having that darker contrasting shade in my inner corners. Inner corner? Outer corner. Outer crease. With the same brush that I used that I used for putting Wish. I'm using the same brush that I used to put Wish on, and this is without any extra product on the brush. I'm just gonna blend that out just a little more. I'm really tempted to add a deep red in here, or like that orangey red. So you guys probably already know that I like to pull my eyeshadow pretty high up on my eyelids. So I'm going back into Sky Candy and using less product than I did before. I know that I mentioned before that Sky Candy makes for a pretty pigmented blush, and I still stand by that, but I just really like having my eyes really bold. So even though this makes for a really pigmented blush, it's almost not enough for my eyes unless I really pack it on. I'm just going to put my winged liner on and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and like usual, my wings do not match at all. But that's okay, because that's why we take photos at an angle like this, where you can't really see the other eye. Okay, so for this lower part over here, I think I'm just going to go in with Realger from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I think it'll help to balance out the eyeliner. I'm putting most of my product on this outer area, and once there's less product on the brush, I'm just dragging that in. Okay, that's probably good enough. I'm gonna take a little brush and go into Dream Dust, and I'm just going to pop that into the inner corner for a highlight. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to curl my lashes and put mascara on. I started really liking showing you how it looks like with just mascara and curled lashes, just because I know not everyone is into false lashes. Somehow I always get mascara on this eye. I don't know why. If you tend to do something like this too, just wait for the mascara to dry and then rub it off lightly with a Q-tip. So this eye looks like I clearly don't care about it, and this eye looks pretty okay. So I'm just trying to clean up that little mascara mess underneath my eye. I don't really care for this one, just because I'm planning to take photos like this anyway, so you're not gonna see it. So this is how it looks like with just mascara and curled lashes. I'm using the House of Lashes Siren lashes like usual. Ah! I remember when I first started using false lashes, I would always forget to curl my lashes and put mascara on beforehand, so I would always put the glue on the lashes and then realize, oh, I didn't curl my lashes or put mascara on. You know what else I don't get? It's the people who can put false lashes on with just their fingers. So this is the final look. So I'm not going to be putting on lipstick right now just because I'm filming the first part of this video, which is the review, and I'll be doing a lot of talking, and I just don't like how liquid lipstick feels on my lips. You'll be seeing the finished look at the beginning of this video anyway, so I feel like I don't have to put my hair down and look all cute, so thanks for watching and I'll see you later. Bye!